Lead-based paint in homes. What should you be aware of? Today I give you 3 things about lead-based paint, the gotchas, and what to look for besides the related disclosures necessary if you're a home seller, buyer, or renter for homes constructed prior to 1978. And wait till the very end wherein I provide a cool surprise for you and you are gonna absolutely love it. That said, here are the 3 things in order. Number 1, the history of lead-based paint and its relevance. Number 2, why do we need a lead-based paint disclosure? Number 3, what should be included in a disclosure? Okay? Hey, a quick detour. Ravi with the Rams Group at eXp Realty here. If this is your first time we're meeting, I welcome you to my channel, wherein I strive to provide meaningful, relevant, and educational content to keep you in the real estate know. You hitting that subscribe button, smashing that bell icon, and liking this video will not only help the algorithm, but also help others derive value, and I totally appreciate it. Now let's cover the 3 items one by one. Number 1, the history of lead-based paint and its relevance. For many years, it was the standard practice to use lead-based paint in all kinds of construction. Adding lead was believed to dry paint more quickly, as well as spread the paint more evenly on bigger surfaces. However, in the late 20th century, people realized that adding lead-based paint was going to cause more harm than good. Lead actually harms the central nervous system, which is actually a toxin, and children would often eat the paint chips that fell off from old surfaces, which in severe cases caused permanent brain damage. As a result, the United States banned the process of adding lead to paint starting 1978. But what about the homes that were constructed prior to 1978, which had walls as well as ceilings covered with lead-based paint already? Now, to deal with this, along with the ban on new lead-based paint, the law also required property owners to disclose the risk of lead-based paint when selling or renting their properties built before 1978. Number 3, what should be included in a disclosure? Okay, the disclosures will vary based on whether the property is being sold or rented. However, many of the requirements more or less kind of overlap and are similar. Now, the law should be explained. The disclosure should note that the landlords and sellers are legally required to disclose this information for homes built before 1978. Number 1, the explanation of risks. That is, describing the medical hazards posed by consuming lead-based paint, particularly to children and their development. Number 2, the acknowledgements. The seller or the landlord must state what actual knowledge they have about the particular property, including what surfaces contain lead-based paint and records, if any, available to those specific paints. The Washington Lead-Based Paint Hazards pamphlet covers all of this. Also, the tenant or the buyer should have a place to acknowledge that these disclosures have been made. That's absolutely imperative, right? Just to cover both the landlord as well as the buyers or the renters. If it is a real estate sale or purchase transaction, the Pacific Northwest MLS Form 22J, which is the disclosure of information of lead-based paint and its related hazards, is to be used. Now, this is where the seller discloses any knowledge they have about the lead-based paint in the home, to which the buyer can either choose to conduct the risk assessment or waive the right to conduct one. Now, your realtor should be able to advise you on the right course of action. And now, thanks for sticking till the very end. Here's what I promised at the beginning of this video. An actual walkthrough of a lead-based paint inspection for a home that one of our clients purchased and chose to do the risk assessment as they were concerned about the well-being of their children. Now, this is a new home for them. However, it is a home constructed prior to 1978, making the lead-based paint inspection relevant. Clients is purchasing a new home, and as part of inspection they chose to do the lead inspection, and I just wanted to give a quick glimpse as to what it takes. It's like completely non-invasive, non-intrusive point and shoot approach. You don't have to chip away the walls or the floors or what have you. And this is Tyler. He's with Pacific Northwest Inspections Group, and he is the one who's doing the inspection. Do you have some insights to share, Tyler?
Yeah, so the concern comes from older homes having lead-based paint. And so this equipment here is an XRF gun, that stands for X-ray fluorescence, and it sends X-rays through the paint. So even if there was 50 layers of paint put on this home, this is still able to scan through all those layers and detect if there's lead or not.
Can you quickly talk about the gun that you're holding in your hand?
Yeah, so it's an XRF gun. Inside is a radioactive source that will send X-rays through the paint, and then the results on that are immediate versus people that have to scrape the paint off. And then also the accuracy on this is much, much higher than, say, using the do-it-yourself swab test kit.
Great. Thanks, Tyler. Hey, hope this information was useful. Feel free to reach out should you like to know more about the effects of the presence of lead in your home. Besides, if you need any lead-based paint inspector contacts, I'm happy to provide. I provided my contact information below for you to get in touch with me. Until next time, you stay safe and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.